Hi everyone, my name is Meg and I'm going to be taking us through a short pelvic floor workout today. So our pelvic floor muscles are part of our deep core and they're really important for our core strength and for helping us with daily tasks like holding it in when we have to go to the bathroom and other things like that. So we're going to be going through 3 exercises today and doing those exercises 3 times through to help strengthen those pelvic floor muscles. Now, before we get into these exercises, I do want to talk about where we can feel the pelvic floor muscles. They're a little tricky because you can't visibly see them, so it's a little harder to activate them, right? Because it's not like doing a bicep curl where we can see that, lifting our arm is going to activate our biceps. It's a bit different. So it might sound a little bit silly, but when you think about squeezing and activating your pelvic floor muscles, I want you to imagine those same muscles that you use to stop urination when you're going to the bathroom. It's that same squeezing sensation in those internal muscles that I'm talking about. So just picture that feeling. Again, I know it might sound a little bit silly, but that is the best way to picture and activate those muscles. So the 3 exercises today are going to be really good for strengthening those pelvic floor muscles. But if you find that your back isn't ready for it or your pelvic floor muscles are not ready for it, I'm going to show you a modification that you can just do instead. So we're going to start lying down on the floor, and we're going to stay lying down on the floor this whole time. That's why I'm wearing socks. So I'm going to come onto my back, and I'm going to show you this modification first. Okay, so when in doubt, if the exercises are not feeling good, you're going to come back to this modification as long as this also feels good, okay? So for that modification, we're just going to lie on the back with the knees bent, and we are going to practice squeezing those pelvic floor muscles for about 5 to 8 seconds before releasing. So I'm not moving anything, at least on the outside of my body. I'm just picturing myself squeezing those inner muscles, again, those muscles you would use to stop urination when you're going to the bathroom. And I'm gonna squeeze, 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 breathing through it. Hold for about 5 to 8 seconds and then release. And I know that might not seem like you're doing all that much, but it is really, really important to teach your body how to activate those muscles. So again, you can always come back to this exercise if the other exercises are not feeling good. Okay, so the first exercise that we're gonna do is a hip bridge. So we're gonna squeeze our glutes, planting our heels into the floor to come up. I have a straight line from shoulders to knees. And once I'm up here, I'm going to squeeze those pelvic floor muscles. You have to consciously think about it. Squeeze, and then release and come down. We're gonna come up again, squeezing the glutes, and then pull in those pelvic floor muscles, and release. Good. So it's not enough to just do the hip bridge. I keep emphasizing that you have to think about squeezing in those pelvic floor muscles because that's where the activation really, really comes in. Good, we're gonna do 4 more of these. Pushing up through those heels, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good. Two more. And last one. Up, squeezing in, and down. Good work. So up next we have a heel slide. So I'm gonna stay where I am. I might scooch up a little bit so I don't go off my mat. And gluing my lower back to the floor, I'm gonna squeeze in those pelvic floor muscles, and I'm gonna slowly let one heel slide down on my mat until it's straight, and then slide it back in, all while I'm keeping that core and that whole area tight. Now, a few notes about this one. If you're sliding and you notice that your back is starting to arch up off the floor, or you notice that those pelvic floor muscles are starting to let go, stop there. If you extend your leg all the way with those muscles relaxed and not activated properly, you could hurt yourself, and you're also not helping yourself to get better at the exercise, okay? So only extend the leg as far as you can while keeping everything nice and tight and activated. We're gonna be alternating legs. Here we go. So gluing that lower back to the floor, squeezing those pelvic floor muscles, sliding, nice and slow and controlled, and in. That should be difficult, right? Here we go, other side. Make sure you're breathing as we do these. Good. Release. Here we go, activate, out, and back up. Release. Activate, and back up. Now again, like with the hip bridges, it's not enough just to slide that leg out and in. You have to consciously think about pulling up on those pelvic floor muscles and activating them. Good. 2 more. Last one here. Excellent. All right, we're gonna move on to our third exercise here, which, again, if this doesn't feel comfortable, if it doesn't feel comfortable on your back, or you feel like your pelvic floor muscles just can't handle it right now, you can instead just squeeze those pelvic floor muscles in place, hold, and release, okay? So for this exercise, we're gonna bring our feet up into a tabletop position, knees bent at about a 90-degree angle here. My back is glued to the floor, right? I'm not arching like this. I'm making sure my back is on that floor to protect it. Now squeezing those pelvic floor muscles, I'm going to lower one knee down, keeping that knee bent. I'm gonna lower that foot down, tap, come up. Other leg. And up. I like to breathe in as I lower and exhale as I come up. Just make sure you're breathing through it. So squeezing, activating those inner muscles, and up. Very good. Be nice and light with that tap. Very controlled. If you can't go down all the way, that's okay. You can stop halfway, like this. As long as your form is good, that's the most important part. Good, give me one more on each side. Last one. Excellent, okay. We're gonna go ahead back to the beginning now and start with those hip bridges. Maybe you rock your legs side to side or take a quick breather. I know I'm starting to feel warm, but that means we're doing some good work. All right, so I'm gonna drive through those heels, squeezing my glutes, and then squeeze those pelvic floor muscles and release. Good. Up. Activating, squeezing, and down. Nice job. Good, 4 more. Last one here. Good. All right, now it's time for our heel slide. So making sure my back does not arch up off the floor. I'm going to activate those pelvic floor muscles. And I'm going to slide a heel out, staying activated, staying strong, and come back in. Other leg. Good. Now remember, if you can't go all the way out, that's okay. You can stop here and come back in. Whenever we're starting a new exercise routine, right, we can't always expect ourselves to be able to do everything. It's all progress. It's all about that progression that gets better with practice and repetitions. Good. Give me one more on each side. Excellent. All right, we have our toe taps in that tabletop position. So again, I'm making sure my back is not arching up off that floor. I'm going to squeeze and activate those pelvic floor muscles, and then I'm going to tap one leg and up. Good. Breathing. Again, if you can't go all the way down, that's okay. Maybe you stop just a little ways down. 2 more on each side. Last one. Okay, let those feet down. Let's rest for a second. We have one more round here. I know that these are not easy, right? They might seem so simple just from looking at them, but when we're focusing on all of that activation and all of those muscles we're using, it gets pretty challenging. All right, last round, here we go. So I'm coming up, squeezing those pelvic floor muscles, activating them, and down. Nice job. Give me 3 more. Last one here. Excellent. Maybe rock those knees from side to side. All right. Time for those heel slides. Activating that core, activating those pelvic floor muscles. I am sliding heel and back. Nice job. Give me 2 more on each side. Staying activated throughout. Don't let yourself slip here. You got 1 more. Excellent. Nice job. We're on to our final exercise here. So I'm coming up into that tabletop position. Activating that core, activating those pelvic floor muscles, and I'm going to tap. Nice and slow and controlled. This should not hurt your back. If it does, I want you to stop and you can go to those pelvic floor holds, right, with those feet on the floor. Breathe. 4 more total. 4, 3, 2, last one. Excellent job. Hug those knees in. Maybe rock from side to side. I'm going to slowly rock myself up. Thank you so much for going through this exercise routine with me today. I hope that it felt good, and I hope that you start to notice a difference difference in those pelvic floor muscles as you keep training them. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.